Hello, Top Fan Rivalry followers, Bill and Suzy. Time for another Astros in Orbit episode. Suzy, how are you doing today?
I am doing lovely today. How are you, Bill?
I'm not going to complain yet, but it's still early enough on the West Coast that I can still mess some things up. So
This is
maybe
true.
ask me in an hour, you
Okay,
know,
okay.
ask
I'll
ask me
take
in 2 hours.
I will make that note in my phone to text you and be like, Bill, maybe I should text Amber instead. I don't know if she'll be
Probably,
truthful with me.
probably, because she'll tell
Just
you
wondering.
just me waking up, I did that wrong. I mean, or
Yes.
something like that. That's what you girls are good at. You keep us humble. See, we think we're awesome, and then you keep us humble because you just tell us all the things that we could have done better.
This is true. But that's for basically anybody in my life, not just my husband. So
Your poor kids.
yeah, yeah,
Your poor kids.
yeah.
I can't wait to meet. I can't wait until your kids get older and we're talking in-laws and see how you treat the in-laws. That'll be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm planning on just not being a social person at that point in time.
Well,
Just full hermit.
have your goals to be a burden on your kids and scare your grandkids. As long as you
Mm,
have that as a goal, you're good.
okay, that's fair.
There you go. So let's talk a little Astros baseball. Anything exciting happening so far in the offseason yet for you?
We
Winter
made
meetings, anything?
we signed a backup catcher. It is not who I wanted. I wanted Tom Murphy. They signed Victor Caratini. Surprisingly, got more money than I had anticipated. So we signed Victor Caratini, who was the backup catcher in Milwaukee, um, to 12 million for 2 years. So he is relatively, obviously younger than Maldi, but anything can be younger than Maldi because Maldi was ancient. But Victor Caratini, 30 years old, backup catcher, like I said, in Milwaukee, behind William Contreras, lesser known Contreras brother, um, but not a black hole, not a black hole. Still a decent bat. I think last year he ended with a 95 WRC plus, which is 100 is average. So he's also a switch hitter. So he bats better from his left side, and in a right-handed heavy lineup, that'll go a long way. And he knows his role. Like I said, he won't have the ego or the drive, I guess, to try and take that starter position. Starter position has already been given to Yainer Diaz, and both Dana Brown and Josue Joe Espada have come out and said that Yainer will be our everyday catcher, our starting catcher, for the foreseeable future. And I am hoping that the boy does Hall of Fame worthy things. A lot of people.
Are you excited about him being your catcher now? Diaz?
I am over the top thrilled. If this was my podcast, Bill, I would be dropping some four-letter words, but since this is PG-13 and family friendly, I will not. But
Yeah,
suffice to say that I am quite thrilled with Yainer Diaz as our everyday catcher.
you're all heckety heckety hefty heckety happy, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
I love it. I love it. Do you have a wish list still for I mean, I know we're coming up on the fat guy sliding down the chimney, but I'm not talking about that. Do you have a wish list for the Astros to sign this offseason? Besides
Yes, I
Otani.
do.
If you say Otani, I'm gonna go crazy.
No, we're not. No. Do I have a wish list? Yes. Is it going to happen? Absolutely not. With the signing of Victor Caratini, I want to say that did put us over the first like CBT line. Um, Ideally, I need three things. I don't think we're going to get any of the three things that we technically quote unquote need.
Okay.
It's not really a need. It's really more of a want. So I would love a front legs charter. I would love to go get Corbin Burns.
Okay.
Now, everyone's saying, "Oh, but you have 93 starters." Yes, yes, we do. However, our rotation is full of a lot of ifs. If Justin Verlander at 40 years old does not fall off a cliff, if Framber Valdez can figure out how to pitch without Maldi, if Christian Javier can figure out how to get his vertical break back, if Hunter Brown doesn't get overused, if JP France can be a suitable 4 or 5 starter, if Jose Urquidy. So with again, like I said, we have a lot of ifs in our rotation. I would love to get a solid, no questions asked every 5th day he's going to take the ball, and I don't have to worry about it. I would love to go get Corbin Burns, Luis Garcia, and Lance McCullers are both scheduled to come back June, July. So again, those are big ifs in the rotation as well. And so I think Corbin Burns as a 1-year rental would fill in nicely. Don't come for me. I've not looked at the money. I don't know any of that stuff off the top of my head. So these are not realistic goals and expectations, guys. This is a Santa's wish list. So Corbin Burns is frontline starter. I would love to go get Emmanuel Clase as our back end relief pitcher. I know that the Guardians have shopped him a little bit, and everyone is kind of shied away from him because his numbers weren't great at the end of the season. And I honestly believe that's from overuse. I mean, he literally took the ball every single day, all day, every day. And sometimes for 2 outings. Sometimes he was tasked with getting 6 outs. And I really honestly believe that if Emmanuel Clase came into this specific back end rotation with Ryan Presley and Brian Abreu, that none of those guys would get overused because they could all technically close games. Ryan Presley is best when he gets a day of rest in between. As your everyday closer, that's probably not the most ideal situation. He is getting up there in years, so I would love to pair him as quote unquote co-closers with him and Brian Abreu. And then Emmanuel Clase, obviously elite setup guy, can be the closer if needs be. And then obviously we have Rafael Montero Jr. um, that may or may not figure it out. We also have Kendall Graveman, which he was hurt at the end of the season, so I don't know if he's all the way back. But that's who I would love in our pen. And then I would love to go get a depth bench bat. Our bench bats are a bit thin as it is now. We have Mauricio Dubon, Gray Kessinger, Cesar Salazar. That's what Fangraphs roster resource puts as our quote unquote util catcher guy. And then John Singleton. I don't think all of those options are going to make it through spring training. So if we could get, I don't know, like if we're really being honest, like a Randy Rosarena, just come on over. That'd be great. I would love that. But that's obviously not going to happen either. So, I will set my sights a little bit lower to say like a Lourdes Gurriel.
Yeah. So I know one player you're not going to get. Juan Soto.
I don't want Juan Soto anyways.
Yeah. And speaking of Shohei Ohtani, I'm just going to break the news right now for everybody here listening to this. Breaking news. Shohei Ohtani is going to sign with, you ready for this, Suzy?
Let's go. Let's do it.
One of the 30 MLB teams. All right.
I don't even think that would be correct, Bill. I think it's like 1 out of 25 because there's 5 teams he definitely ain't going to.
There we go. Didn't we talk about this at the beginning of the show? The ladies always telling the guys when they're wrong. Well, I just tried to make it safe for everybody, so I didn't eliminate like the A's and the Rockies. But here you got it done, gone, and throw people under the bus.
Look, the Royals aren't going to be mad. The Royals are not going to be mad that I threw them under the bus, Bill. Okay.
Beep, beep. They until you've had a lobster corn dog in Kansas City, you have not lived. I'm telling you right now.
That sounds so good. That sounds so good. I want one.
You have no idea. On purpose, I'm gonna send you some text message today with some of this food. You're gonna hate me by the end of the day.
Look, it's already lunchtime over here. Okay, I need food.
Suzy needs to. I got stuck in a meeting today. For lunch, I'm going to get sushi, and I love sushi. I love me some sushi. You know what the problem with sushi is?
It doesn't fill you up.
Bingo. You feel filled up, and then next thing you know, an hour later you're thinking, I haven't even had lunch yet, but you have.
Yeah, it's because you didn't consume enough rice.
Yeah, maybe that's it. So, all right. So tell me, who do you think the best current Astro is? Your opinion. Now, everybody, I'm going to preface this. I like Suzy. Suzy's good people. This is doctrine by Suzy. You guys get on her for not mentioning whoever. I'm going to get on you. Okay. That's
Okay.
all I'm going to say. This is her opinion. Go. Best Astro.
I think you have to say Jordan Alvarez. I think you have to say Jordan Alvarez. Now, is he my most favorite player? No.
Okay.
I do now, don't get me wrong, I love all of our boys, but, Jordan is not one of my quote unquote favorites. He's up there, but he's not my absolute favorite. But I think he is the best Astro, and he's still coming into his own. I mean, he's 25, and he's still growing. I say growing, but he's still finding his swing, and he's still figuring out like strike zones. And I've really not seen a better, well, I say play discipline, but Alex Bregman is right there. A better guy that knows his pitches and what he wants to swing at.
Bingo.
And
I
so Jordan, I think Jordan is that
When
guy.
you're talking about still growing, shouldn't you be talking about your second baseman?
No, no, Jose Altuve is as grown as he's going to be, but that's okay because he's going to stand on all of these stacks of cash that we're going to give him, and that will just elevate him just a bit more.
So for those of you that listen to this show, if you've met Big Dave, every time I mention that joke, Big Dave holds up a thing that says the Dodgers trade Jordan Alvarez. It reminds me of that. And then he also says Jose Altuve may only be like 5'4", but standing on his World Series trophies, he's 6 foot tall. So
Indeed,
you're saying
indeed.
stacks of cash. I like that better than the World Series trophies. Speaking of the World Series trophies, tell me, best team in your opinion. Now, I know that there's a pre-baseball Suzy from 2008, 2018, I'm sorry. And now there's a post-baseball Suzy. And I didn't know the pre-baseball Suzy, but if she's as funny as this one is, we like her. Okay. Best,
She is.
okay, then
Yeah.
there you go. So best team, 2017, like bang bang fastball. 2019, 2021, 22, 23. What do you think the best Astro team? Forget if they won the World Series or not. Obviously, 19 they didn't, 21 they didn't, 23 they didn't, but they had really good teams. So, in your opinion, of those years, of those 5 years, what's your best Astro team and why?
I think it had to have been 2019.
Okay,
Uh,
why?
I think it was 2019. I mean, first you gotta look at the rotation that we had. I mean, that 1-2 punch of JV and Garrett Cole was just insane. Zach Greinke as the 3, and to be truly, totally honest, 2019 is really what solidified my love for Zach Greinke. I adore that man, and if ever I could get into a room and just have a conversation with Zach Greinke and Joey Votto, I think my life. I need to see the interactions between these 2 wonderfully weird, intelligent human beings, and I just wanna be a fly on the wall just to absorb knowledge from these 2 gentlemen. But Zach Greinke, my most iconic memory of that World Series run was Zach Greinke throwing at Juan Soto, and I I've said it before and I will say it again. If Juan Soto came to my team, I would have a very hard time rooting for him. I hate the way that he plays baseball. I hate his Soto shuffle. I love his personality off the field. I love everything about him off the field. I hate that Soto shuffle. It drives me absolutely insane. And the fact that this cocky, like, 19-year-old is doing this to, uh, Zach Greinke, future Hall of Famer, just infuriated me oh so much. And it cracked me up because I'm all, oh my gosh, I've only been watching the sport for, like this is my second year. But even I understand that there's like a level of respect that is given to these guys. And I'm like, stop it. Like you are not this good. Side note, he is that good. However, it's I needed him to be humbled just a little bit. And for Zach Greinke to just throw at him, just it made my
Warmed your heart.
super petty black heart happy.
So, have you ever seen Major League or Major League Two?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm laughing because this is how my brain works. You have to understand, you and I are close to the same age. We're only separated by a few years. So you remember video stores. Some
Yes.
people listening to this don't remember before Redbox, right?
Yeah.
And so I worked in high school and college for either Blockbuster Video or Hollywood Video.
Mhm.
Okay. It's just what I did. Okay. They pay good money, flexible hours, got free movies. Life's good. So, but during that time frame, I can tell you every cover box picture for most of the ones, and I could also tell you a lot of like scenes from different ones. When you said I hate this Soto Shuffle, it made me think of Harry Doyle in Major League Two when Jack Parkman comes over and he does that little shimmy and he says it drives the ladies here in
Uh-huh.
Cleveland crazy. And then when he got traded to the White Sox, he's like, it makes me puke or something like that. Like Susie, Harry Doyle, kind of the same thing. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. Well,
So,
that's actually a good choice because that lineup was very good. Now, that was also the series, if I'm not mistaken, where neither team could win a home game.
correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that just
Yep.
drives you nuts.
Yeah,
And
I actually went to game 1 of the World Series, and
mhm,
I wouldn't go so far to say devastated, but I was very, very upset that I went and I could not see a win in person. JV was on the bump. You j you think it's an automatic lock. It
mm.
was not. It was not an
Yeah,
automatic lock.
yeah, Kate Upton is a good pitcher, and I'm gonna give him credit. I
Yep.
would really, really like it. He is the only pitcher I think, unless we see something different come up, I think he's the only pitcher in the next probably 20 or 30 years that has a shot for 300 wins.
Yeah.
He's only 43 away from it. And, if he were to play another 3 seasons, compile 15 or so wins, if he plays for a good enough team like the Astros, he's got a shot. He plays for somebody like the A's, and he's going to have to play till he's 60.
Yeah. Well, and that was another thing that really kind of stuck in my craw last season. He wants to go for that record.
Mhm.
And if you've watched any sort of Astros baseball in the last couple of seasons, like that JV gets absolutely no run support. Absolutely none. I mean, we're eking out like 2-1 wins if that, or we're or we're losing 2-1 and JV threw a gem and, went 6 and struck out 8, didn't walk anybody, but we couldn't score another freaking run for him. And that is really what killed me last season and the season before that, was because we had this, like, black hole in the freaking lineup that couldn't help him get the win. And the guy I say the guy, like, one of the guys on the bench, actually 2 of them, uh, that could help,
Maybe three.
right? J weren't in the lineup because JV's insistence on throwing to Maldi. I'm like, you would think that at some point in time that he'd be like, "Well, I'm not winning now. Maybe we switch it up a little bit. Maybe we give the rookie a shot to see if I can't pad my stats a little bit." I'm just saying. I don't know. That's my thinking though. But
Doctor by Susie. I love it.
yeah. So hopefully next season JV can get some more wins under his belt because we failed JV as a team this season because
So,
of that.
so now, as I've gotten to know you, your personality and my personality are a little similar. We can be a little sarcastic. We definitely enjoy the humor side of things. Has there been anything recently in baseball or anything that you can think of in the recent past in baseball that has just tickled your funny bone that has thought, okay? I mean, for example, the Yankees are super excited about Juan Soto coming over. Obviously, you're not excited about the the Soto shuffle. But now the Yankees have all these batters, but where's their pitching? So, anything you've seen funny in the offseason or anything leading up to the offseason?
This is a little bit more under the radar, but the fact that Eric Fetty, who's a who was in the MLB, absolutely sucked, went over to Korea, raked, was super awesome. I want to say that he won their version of the Cy Young, which is not called the Cy Young, but it's their version of the Cy Young, and then got a couple of deals back here in the States. And reportedly, it was between the White Sox and the Mets, and he chose the White Sox. That tickled my funny bone because the White Sox are just essentially just a dumpster fire of a team right now, and the Mets are rebuilding, and so it cracked me up that Eric Fetty chose to go to the dumpster fire rather than the Mets, and that just it made me giggle.
See, there you go. So you do have there is some humor in this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I love yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. So Susie, what have we not talked about? Like we've nailed it pretty good for the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but is there anything else that we're missing that we should be talking about?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, we did pick up a relief pitcher from the Royals, Dylan Coleman. I want to say that fills our 39th spot on the roster. I'm not super familiar with his pitch mix. I want to say though that he did have a higher ERA, but that is on the Royals staff, and they're not super well known them. So I'm really hoping that, well, obviously, since we traded for him, our pitching coaches see something in them that they can fix or they can and so I saw a video last night of him pitching at Tread and has an electric fastball, and I want to say like his slider had like 20 inches of horizontal break, and I'm all I don't understand how that's possible. What's going on? So
Yeah, the
hopefully,
math's off there.
yeah. Hopefully that ends up, panning out for us, and I think that's it.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so Susie, we this is our second episode together. We're still having fun doing this, so maybe we should consider doing this next week.
I
And
think so.
I think I got some funny stuff that we're gonna mix in there. But
Okay.
so first of all, this is Astros in orbit. Please understand that this is the second episode. We got three more, and then it's gonna go behind the locker room door. Then you're gonna have to pay for the content, but it's gonna be awesome anyways. Susie, where else can people find you? Because this isn't your only thing that you do. Where else can people find you? Because
This
I listen to you, but you tell me.
so this is the PG-13 version of Susie that you get here on Astros in Orbit. If you like this content, but you think that, I see a little bit more in Susie. I see a little bit more sass. You can come over to Bourbon and Baseball, which is the podcast that I host, and that is rated R. So just if that's not your flavor, that's okay. Chill over here. But the episodes over there are a little bit longer. I have two different co-hosts. One that I do with Kelsey, and that is the All the Balls episode. So Bourbon and Baseball, All the Balls, and we talk about all of the teams. That typically records once a week on Sundays, and then in season, Tom and I will be doing anything like hot stove newsworthy. But during the season, we will be recording once a week. Not once a week. I'm just kidding. Once a series for the Astros, and that will be the Astros edition. And you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, any sort of podcast platform.
Yep.
Bourbon and Baseball. You can find me on all of the socials, also at Bourbon and Baseball. And again, I say this is PG-13 version of Susie over here, radar version over there, and I try and give all of the warnings in the beginning of the episode years around, or if you're listening at work or whatnot, and you forget that that's rated R Susie. I try and warn everybody.
Yeah, just pay attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I actually have listened to some of her episodes, and Suzy's fun to listen to. That's why we brought her over here and are doing this as well. So don't she's giving you a disclaimer, but don't think that it's that you can't support it. It's definitely worth it. And I've been on her show one time. I'm still waiting to get the invite for All the Balls episode.
Hey,
Like
anytime you want to come on, Bill, any Sunday, let's
that,
go.
maybe we'll do the Sunday. I don't know if you guys are doing something on the 17th, but I'll have availability then. So maybe we'll do Sunday.
We'll see.
Yeah, just
Perfect.
have your people
Okay.
call my people. I'll give you my agent's number after. No,
Okay.
have your
Perfect.
agent
Don't
call
send me
my
to
agent.
voicemail though.
I
If you
won't.
send me to voicemail, I'll be mad, Bill.
You get through. Now, Juan
Okay.
Soto gets voicemail. Okay, Jose Altuve gets voicemail, but Suzy gets through.
As it should be.
Just saying. All right, Suzy, thanks so much. Stick around for 1 second. Top Fan Rivalry followers, another great episode of Astros in the Orbit. We're going to work on bringing some Astro fans into this as well at some point. So, Suzy, thanks again for your time, and let's do it again next week.